Hey everyone, welcome to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay. Time to paint along. Let's get some work done. Let's rid the world of unpainted models together. So grab a brush, grab some paints, grab a model, and let's get some fun painting as we have fun. Happy painting. Exactly. So today I'll be continue working on my Space Marine army, my vanilla Marines. I know that Dark Angels came out last weekend. I did a codex review. Go check that out. But I'm going to keep working on my librarian group. I have 2 librarians almost done and then 1 just started. And I'll be working on them today, and maybe, if I have time, maybe one of my commissions that I'm working on as well. It's all good. So let's get painting. Let's have a good time. Hey everyone! So today I'll be working on a couple librarians. One of them right here. Basically, I took some of the... I'm going to take him off his little stand. This is Holt, one of the commissions I'm currently working on. Cool. He's almost done as well. But right now I'm working on some librarians. I took some of the Dark Angel librarians from the starter set, and I converted them to Imperial Fists librarians because I counted up all the librarians I had. Like, this is my guy that I took around for Dark Angels. But I counted up all the librarians I have access to, and I have like 7 librarians in my workshop. So I decided to dedicate half of them to the Imperial Fists, and they're almost done here. I'll be putting on the finishing touches today, and then, yeah, just getting them done and stuff. But, and I kept half of them non-worked on in the meantime, in case that the Dark Angels got a similar formation to the Space Marines, the librarians. So that way you could take a bunch of, like, I heard that they were getting their own psychic powers ahead of time, and I was hoping that they'd get their own librarian, formation, and they didn't, unfortunately. So I'll talk a little bit the Dark Angels today. I'm not going to talk that much because I don't want to be a whiner. But yeah. So yeah, it's been an interesting last week, and I'll keep working on these guys and get these guys done, and then my librarians will be good. It's been cool. I've filmed already 2 battle reports. They're not going to go up for maybe a week or 2, maybe 2 weeks. I'm thinking I might go with all my episodes of Face Off first for July, and then build up a stack of battle reports. That way I can never run out of content. So Face Off is filmed, but I'll talk about that after. Let's talk about Space Marines. It's been fun. I've actually been playing a couple games so far with Space Marines. They're a little, they're not the most interesting army to play with, because they're, but I'm going to learn them. I'm excited to play them, because I've never played Vanilla Marines. I've had Dark Angels, and they're fun, but I've played mostly Deathwing. I've had Grey Knights, but they're very different from normal Space Marines. And it's been fun. As I said, not the most interesting battle reports, because they're, they're the jack-of-all-trade army. But I think you guys will like them. I played once against Stu. So shout out to Stu and his orcs. It was really fun. Stu is new to orcs, so it was a lot of fun. He was playing an army that was just like his first battle report with orcs, my first battle report with vanilla Marines. The only thing is, at the time I ran the only thing is with these formations. Now, one of the major downsides, all these formations in codices, now they become incredibly powerful when combined a lot of the time. But the downside is you have to have all the models. And I still have this problem with Necrons. I still haven't been able to get Tomb Blades. Which I should be able to get them soon when I have the chance. Next time I'm in Kitchener or Waterloo, I should pick them up. But the local store is not getting them anytime soon, apparently. Is you have to have all the models. And it kind of gets annoying because, you can't, just put in a squad of scouts, for example, in the Space Marines formation. You can't do that. You have to have 3 squads of scouts, or 2 squads of scouts and some scout bikes to use scouts. And it gets annoying. So right now I have 3 librarians, which is the minimum amount for the librarian conclave. I also have Tigurius, which I'll do a tutorial probably in the warp form. And then yeah. So I have a bunch of librarians for the librarian formation. Ooh, look at them dance. Which is cool. That is cool, and... But that's the downside. So right now I only have enough models I can proxy. What I'm going to do is from now on for battle reports. I'm all off the place right now. The downside is right now I only have enough models for the Terminator formation. So it's the elite formation. I forget what's called, the First Company Strike Force or something like that, or Strike Force. And I have the Librarian Conclave here. And what else do I have? I have 3 Land Raiders to do the Land Raider Spearhead. So I tried one battle report so far with the Land Raider Spearhead, which was against Stu's Orcs. And again, I did not know what he was bringing. I didn't even know what army. I didn't even know what army that David was playing when I set up my army. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, so I brought the Land Raider Spearhead once, and I tried a combination of I used Deathwing, but I proxied them as just normal Terminators for I'll use Old Gold for my game against David. Sorry, yeah. So right now, as requested by a couple of viewers, like Stu, I'm going to take Old Gold, which is a liquid gold, and just show you guys a little bit just a little bit of prep. But whenever using the Old Gold, obviously give it a great shake, because you need to always give these things a very heavy pigmentation, and they're in alcohol medium, so you got to give them a good shake. So there we go, good shake. I'm gonna add it to my palette. It was just Stu brought up a really good point last time I talked to him, and he said, it'd be cool to keep up saying now I'm painting the golds and what am I working on and why, not only what I'm doing but why. It's a good idea, so I'm gonna start doing that more often. And before I forget, Adam, you missed a spot. So, yeah. So I've been trying them out. It's been fun. Mixed results. The Orcs one was hilarious because I tried a demi company. I'm not going to ruin any battle reports of who won or anything, but I had a demi company and 3 Land Raiders, and it was a 1,500 point game, so half my army was Land Raider points. And I'm up against Orcs. Now, those of you who play Orcs or play against Orcs frequently, you'll know Orcs really don't have many answers to a Land Raider. And there's a couple armies out there, Tyranids are one of them too, that there's not a lot of an answer in those armies for Armor 14. There is not. Like Tyranids, Tyranids have a handful. Like they have the Lance Psychic Power, which is pretty good. They have the Strength 8 Hive Guard shots, which are only going to glance a Land Raider. And they have Tyrannofex's Strength 10 shot, which has no AP, so can't one-shot a Land Raider. It'll pen, but who cares? Especially against the Spearhead formation of Land Raiders from the Codex Space Marines. They ignore all effects, essentially, until they're destroyed. So, if they're within 6 inches of another Land Raider. So, that was, interesting. So, same with the Orcs. Orcs have very few answers to Armor 14. Because they have, they have a shock attack gun, which potentially can hurt a Land Raider, but the odds are it won't. Power Claws, but Power Claws on the Assault are only Strength 9. So they're 5s to glance, 6s to pen. So the odds are they're not getting that many pens. And they're AP 2, so they might blow up a Land Raider, but it's just not a simple task. So that's it. And then, so I played against Stu. And the thing is, the funniest part about the battle report was I had nowhere near the firepower. He brought Horde Orcs against a demi company. And it was a demi company and Land Raiders. So in the end, I had nowhere near the firepower it took to take on Horde Orcs. And he had nowhere near the firepower or strength to take on Land Raiders. So it was a really fun match because it was a lot of the time it was just I couldn't do much to him and he could not do much to me. But it was Maelstrom War, so the cards had to dictate what we did, but it was cool. And then against Dave, again I had no idea what he was bringing. Dave brought a really interesting Tau army. It was like foot slogging Tau, but the amount of bodies he brought, it was insane. So once again, completely outgunned. And so I knew that with Space Marines, and I ran a Terminator list, 3 squads of Terminators and 3 squads of Terminators and a demi company. I knew that my rolls were essentially going to dictate it because he was just going to fire and fire and fire, and he also had a Riptide. But the Riptide was going to be scary. But other than that, it's just going to be amount of firepower. And if I roll well, Terminators will survive, and I can win the game. And if I rolled poorly, Terminators are going to die, and I would be it's an uphill battle. So it was a fun game. I'm not going to ruin it or anything, but let's say my rolling was not statistical. That's all I'm going to say. When you watch it, I don't know if it's going to be warp or free, but when you watch it, you'll understand when I say my rolling was definitely not statistical. So it's all good. So right now I'm just painting all the gold areas on the model, which there aren't that many gold areas. It's cool. I've been going through my workshop, and I've been offloading a couple miniatures as well that I'm not going to use. But it's been really cool being able to build these armies with relative ease. Like, I had so many Space Marines in my workshop that I wasn't intending on. I don't know. Maybe I was just making them Dark Angels or something. But I'll make the keys gold. So it's been fun. I'll make sure it's zoomed in correctly. That looks good. Yeah. So it's been fun building a Space Marine army. And as I said, people really wanted me. It's by far the most requested army for me to build is Vanilla Marines, which I thought was kind of weird at first. And I thought, oh, well, it kind of makes sense though. It's one of those armies that most people play. It's the most frequently played army, but it's an army that doesn't get a lot of love from the fans. People. It's kind of the army that a lot of people love to hate, and specifically Ultramarines usually. But and then on top of that, none of the big YouTubers in miniature wargaming really play Vanilla Marines. So I will gladly pick up that torch and add them into my resume. I'll be using Dark Angels as well in the near future. The codex is okay. I'm just going to sum that up. Codex is okay. I'm not... more I think about it, I don't know. Basically, they're so close to vanilla, but they're weaker in a lot of ways. They're stronger in some ways. They're definitely, there's some strengths in the codex for sure. Raven Wing. But the thing is, the theme of the Dark Angels Codex, it's like a chapter of Space Marines from the Vanilla Codex but their chapter tactic is defensive. It's a very, very, very defensive army, and I feel that with Dark Angels, you almost become like what's his name? Who's the boxer? I'll remember his name after. Huge fight recently against Manny Pacquiao. But you become one of them, essentially, with this army, Dark Angels. You're a defensive guy, or girl, if you're playing them, right? But you're a defensive army, where you sit there, and because those of you don't know, the big chapter tactic rule is Grim Resolve. But Grim Resolve, if you take the formation, allows you to overwatch at full ballistic skill, right? Which is huge, providing your opponent assaults you. And the thing is about 40k right now, 40k is not really about the assault. It's about, if this was the rule back in 5th edition or even 4th edition, that would be huge. Because 4th edition was very assault based. You could literally assault, and this would make Gene Stealers insane, I remember back in 4th, was that you can consolidate from one combat into another. So Gene Stealers would just bounce around the entire table between combats. You'd kill them, and then you jump in, kill them, and then jump into another squad for combat. So your opponent could never shoot them. But they took that away, obviously. And that's the kind of thing, as I said, you become a defense, like a counterpuncher, where you, instead of attacking and being super aggressive, you stand there, you shoot them, and then you stand right in front of your opponent and wait for them to come at you again, like with orcs. With orcs, if you know you're playing against an orc army, and they're very assaulty based, or even a lot of Tyranid lists, you could just stay at a bit of a distance and just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. And then when they get close to you, you shoot them again. But a full ballistic skill. So that gives you basically an extra full round of shooting. Full round. And that's huge. But only if your opponent is offensive and assaulty. If not, like I was playing against Tau yesterday. I was playing against Tau with Dave, and Tau never assaulted me once. Right? So I would never use that cool rule versus an army like Imperial Fists here, where... Sorry about that, Rubik was barking at something. Versus an army like Imperial Fists here, who have an offensive army-wide rule, right? Bolter drill. And you get to use bolter drill all the time. You don't have to wait for your opponent to assault you. You can just keep shooting at them. That's what I like about them. So that's the Dark Angels. There's some good builds in there. I'm going to try them all. I'm going to have a good time playing them. I'm a Dark Angel player, and I'm not going to quit Dark Angels because of the codex. In my opinion, I don't like the codex as much as the old one. But that doesn't change anything. It's still there, and I'm going to have a fun time playing it and stuff. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Look, they're done. I'm going to just... maybe I should paint that little satchel. Yeah, I'll paint that little satchel brown, and then I'll hit them with a Reikland flashlight. So, that'll be okay. I'll play Dark Angels and have some fun. With Dark Angels, I already have a lot of the formations already, but what I'm going to do is, as I was going to say earlier, is I'm going to play with Dark Angels and Imperial Fists, and I'm just going to bounce the models between the armies. I don't feel the need to buy a bunch of scouts and paint them Dark Angels, and then buy a bunch more scouts and paint them Imperial Fists. That's just too expensive. So they'll be proxied, because there'll still be scouts, and every gun will be true, but just the color scheme won't make as much sense. And they'll be, I'll remove the first ones, obviously, the ones that are off-colored, to die first. But, yeah, it'll be good. Because the Space Marine's a Space Marine. So right now I'm going to take Mordenfang Brown, now that the golds are done. I'm going to take Mordenfang Brown again. I was using Mordenfang Brown the first time. That was the first color I was using for the book. And I'm just going to paint their little satchels, or pocket things. Maybe a belt. I'll do the belts as well, brown. So, yeah, so Dark Angels came out. You know what? It's cool. We got an update. Some Eldar players might be excited to play them. I don't know. It's kind of funny. What else happened last week? I went to the Randy Bachman concert that I was really looking forward to. Oh, it was amazing. The rain here was terrible. For those of you who live in Southern Ontario, on Saturday, we got a torrential downpour starting Saturday morning, probably early, in mid-morning, and it didn't end until Monday. It was just a non-stop rain for 2 days, and it was annoying. But the Randy Bachman concert was really good. Not many people went. I went to a few concerts last year for the Peterborough Music Fest. And a local indie artist easily had double the amount of people there than Randy Bachman, who is one of Canada's music legends. I wasn't going to miss it for anything. So I stood there in the pouring rain. I brought a chair, but the pouring rain, it was pouring. It was crazy rain. Here we go. 2 librarians, done. So let's get the basing. Oh, no, I should do the Reikland Flash Shade. Do the basing, and they're good to go. And then I have another one here in Terminator armor. I don't know what I'll do next. Maybe after these guys are done, I'll start my commission, or maybe I'll work on the other librarian. It's all good. We'll figure it out. So, yeah, it was cool. Really good concert. I've never been to a classic rock concert. I've been to rock concerts before, and I've been to a lot of concerts where bands cover songs, But it was really cool to see the original artist playing the music. And then, like, because those of you who don't know, Randy Bachman is a Canadian music legend. He wrote most of the songs for the Guess Who, right? The Guess Who is a Canadian rock band, and then he was also in BTO, which is a Canadian American rock band. But the Guess Who, like, wrote songs like American Woman. You know, that was one of the ones they were really known for. And then he also was in another band called BTO, Bachman Turner Overdrive, where like songs like "Taking Care of Business," "Hey You," you know. So it was really good, but it was cool. Like every song that he played had like 2 guitar solos in it. He played the guitar using a drumstick at one point. At one point, they went into a medley and started playing like other bands' music, like AC/DC. They played Zeppelin. He played one of his songs called "She's Come Undone." But Randy Bachman's more of a rock guitarist, but Burton Cummings, the lead singer of the Guess Who, he was really jazzy. Like he loved to play the keyboards, the flute, and so he jazzified a lot of the songs that Randy Bachman wrote. So he decided to do the song "She's Come Undone," but in the style of Led Zeppelin, which was really actually kind of cool. You know, seeing an artist play his own song in a different style intentionally it's just cool to see. You know, great concert. And the sad part is I'm willing to bet it's gonna be the greatest concert of the summer for the Peterborough Music Fest, and it had the most disgusting attendance. No one was there because the rain was so bad. And right now I'm just taking Warren Fang Brown. Adam missed another spot, and I'm just quickly painting in the sand, doing a quick dry brush of the sand on the base. So, yeah, it was a really good concert though, and I'm glad I went. Because I only had my motorcycle last weekend. I walked actually there, so I walked 4 kilometers, or what was that, 2.5 miles, to the venue, and then walked back. It was good. So that's cool. Yeah, great concert. I really loved it. I always wanted to see Randy Bachman. He's not necessarily on my bucket list of musicians, but he's one of those ones that if he ever came into the area, I will want to see. And also one of my favorite comedians is now coming to Ottawa, so I'm going to go and see him. Billy Connolly. Those of you might know him as King Dane in Lord of the Ring, in the Hobbit trilogy. Well, technically only the last Hobbit movie. But maybe I should keep going. There's another commission model that I have that I can finish the basing for. It's the same color, same basing scheme as I use for my librarians. Oh, you do it on him too. This is, as I said, a War Machine model. But it was really good. I was really happy I saw it. So that was good. What else? So yeah, Dark Angels Codex, cool. As I said, I'm going to try the Doom Dark Angels Codex several times. I already have the models for several of the formations. Obviously the Deathwing formation. And the Deathwing detachment. I have enough bikes for the Ravenwing detachment, I think. I need to get Samael. Yeah. Ravenwing are incredibly survivable now. Especially the ones with Skilled Rider, because now it's a re-rollable Jinx save. That's huge. Especially if you can get Feel No Pain someone in there, then it's like a 4-up re-rollable plus 5-up Feel No Pain, or 3-up re-rollable plus 5-up Feel No Pain. You're never going to kill these guys. Unless you have something that ignores cover. But, one day I would really like to try it. Obviously it's a little bit OP, but I would love to get some Vindicators and do the triple Vindicator list for Space Marines. Right now I'm taking XV88. And I'm going to just do another dry brush over the bases to get some texture to them. This is my simple basing scheme. Like, this is what I typically do for my armies. It's just sand, and then whenever I prime the miniatures, I prime over the sand, of course, so that it's black. And then I do successive dry brushings, a little bit heavier with Mournfang Brown, and then a light one over top with XV88. And that brings up some tones in the sand. You know? And then I put on a little bit of PVA glue and hit it with some grass flock. And we're in business. These librarians are going to be fun to run too. So I'm probably going to run them with... Got to think about what points I can run them at. Maybe my next battle report I'll run like a librarian group. What would I run them with is the question. I guess I'll have to choose Terminators. Maybe. Yeah, I guess Terminators will be the cheapest. And that's the thing with these formations. Like if you play Vanilla Marines now, your Vanilla Marines are going to have a demi company. So 500 plus points of your army is pretty much already determined. And same with Dark Angels, right? Because now you got to choose. You can take the cheapest of the cheaps, but why would you? Like, why would you take a Devastator squad and give them no upgrades? Well, other than sitting on an objective in the backfield doing nothing. That would be a purpose for them, because they do have objective secure. But I like to give my Dark Angel models already have plasma cannons, and my Imperial Fists have las cannons. I bought some at a sale recently, so I want them in the back, shooting stuff. They've done pretty well so far. Done and done. Good stuff there. Maybe I'll continue working on a commission after this. Because this librarian is pretty far. I could probably get pretty far. I've been painting for a while, though. This is probably about half an hour in. I lose track when I have to do multiple takes. It's much easier when I have to do like one take. Maybe I'll continue on him. But I really like to continue on Ayanna. That's Holt. Maybe I'll continue on Ayanna. Paint him up next week or something. Have my librarian group done. I gotta finish up my captain as well. Here's my captain. He's been worked on as well a bit. He has 2 colors already. So I'll get him done in the near future. So I have a captain in case I don't want to run. There's still a lot of debate. I've been running Lysander in my lists. He may not be legal, but oh whoop. It kind of shows that he's legal, but kind of not. So that was just the my PVA glues and having bubbles. So pop them. Yeah, it's been a busy week with work and videos and stuff. Work videos, the concert. Filmed a couple battle reports. This week's painting tutorial in the Warp was Yark. Can't show the model because I mailed him back today to the guy who was a commission. But it was Commissar Yark, and he was a lot of fun to paint up. I had a good time painting him. I don't get to paint Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum very often. And as I said, right now I'm just taking PVA glue and putting it a little bit on the bases. That's all I want. And it was fun painting the Yark for a commission. Turned out really well. I was happy with it. Warp preview week obviously ended on Monday. That was cool. Warp got a lot of people checked it out apparently, and it was cool because it was a lot. As I said, one of the reasons why I did the Warp preview week was to show the people in some countries like Germany what the Warp is looking like, because they don't have access to it. They just can't do it. It was cool because a lot of the views came from Germany and a couple other countries that it's just not available in. And that's one of my points. That's why I wanted to show them, because they deserve to see the content. I think people were really happy with what they saw. It's cool. I actually don't know. It hasn't told me yet if anybody subscribed. And if I didn't get any new subscribers, okay, big whoop. You know, I would have loved to, obviously. I'm just going to take them and put them in some grass flock. But I don't do what I do to get rich. I would just love to make a living. If I could just make videos for a living every day, I'd be the happiest candy in town. Done. Look at him. He's done. Yay. Next one. Good stuff there. Yay. So that's good. I have another 2 librarians done. So my librarian formation, next battle report, I'll probably, even with the other guy, he has 2 colors on him. So, no, Holt needs a little more grass lock. The War Machine models, Some of them have great details. I do find though, with 40K, like it's crazy. Like this is like a 2-point model, and it takes 4 hours to paint them. So the commission levels are interesting for games like this. But yeah, he looks good. Turned out well. He's cool. And here's his partner in crime. They're called Ayanna and Holt. Lady Ayanna and Master Holt. This is Ayanna. This is the other part of the commission. So it's 2 models, Ayanna and Holt. And she's an elf. I kind of screwed up because I couldn't see her ears, so I'm gonna have to repaint her ears. Let's focus in on her. Maybe I can zoom in. There we go. So here's Ayanna so far. And she's an elf. I didn't even take that in. I saw a picture of her a little bit ago, so I'm going to have to paint her ears. I'll finish painting her hair first and then finish up her ears. But yeah, she's looking good. She has a bunch of colors on her already. I like her. It's a cool model. It's for my friend Andy, who does battle reports with me. He only plays hordes now. He's selling off his 40K. And I respect that, obviously, because, you know, he doesn't have the time to dedicate himself. 40K is one of those games now you really got to know what's going on if you're playing competitively, which he does. He used to play really competitively. And with codex come out every other week, which probably will stop for a little while, I'm guessing. Seeing as next weekend is the Age of Sigmar, which is the new release for... That's not looking too good at coloration. Which is the new release for Fantasy. So I'm guessing 40K will be put on the back burner for maybe a month or two, and that's okay because we can just stop and smell the roses, you know, and not have to deal with new codices every, you know. This is the brush. Something is up. My brush is really dirty or something? I'm going to take a second and clean it off. Well, I'll talk to you while I'm cleaning my brush, because apparently it has some pigment stuck in the ferrule. And it's not looking too good when I'm using white. I'm going to have to paint white in a second over her hair. And yeah. But it's been a busy week, you know. What else? Face Off is coming along. I'll put up another Face Off episode for free probably on the weekend because I want to balance out where the episodes are. And technically the free should get one more episode coming up because the Warp is in the second round. And there's still one more match in the free content. I don't remember what it was. There's one more match in the free content, and it... pretty sure it was a good one. So, gotta get that one up. There we go. Brush is a little bit cleaner. German's going well. It's already been filmed. It was all pre-filmed. I filmed it with Stu. Most of it was with Stu. Some of it was with Andy. Andy was in the beginning. The first 4 had Andy in it. And then a couple were just me and my wife, and then the rest of them were with Stu. So it wasn't just me. Nothing's rigged. Nothing's determined ahead of time. Was I surprised with the outcome? Kinda. I made a prediction about the tournament at the beginning. After the first round picks were, randomly before when the rounds were selected, and I wasn't right actually. There were a couple surprises that I didn't see coming, and that's excellent. I didn't, it just, it's excellent. I really like that because it shows that nothing's rigged and that these models end up surprising you. Now, one of the matches was really bad luck, and I'm not mentioning which one, but there's one match that was really like, oh my goodness. The luck was just disgusting. And we played best of 5, and the finals was best of 7. to intentionally remove the effects of one round bad luck, you know? Especially with a lot of these guys with the instant death weapons. You don't want bad luck affecting it that crazily. But, so I'm just going to try to zoom in. There we go. But yeah, oh, bad luck. Oh, bad luck. So, that's okay. It happens. So, next season, I don't know what I'm going to do for sure. I have a couple options. I'm thinking of removing a couple, maybe the top performers, replacing them with a few other guys. I'll try to get as many new guys in next turn, or, you know, models. Because I'm going to pick up Lilith soon, and we'll put in, like, Lilith. I should really get Mephiston. Mephiston would be cool into this tournament. You can see, those are your ears. Yeah, I totally missed that when I was painting her. And I realized after looking at a picture afterwards. She's an elf. Cool. So she's kind of long. Pretty well. You can see me doing the commission. What else should I do on her? Probably some Ungor Flash. I'm gonna mix in, just do a quick Ungor Flash, Bestigor Flash 1-1 mix. Just do over her ears. Her eyes are done, her face is done and stuff. I've done most of her clothing. Right now I'm just building up a quick highlight at the tops of her ears. Next I'll probably do a gold layer. Yeah, gold or silver, whichever color. Yeah, let's do gold quickly. I have the golds, let me just look at the model quickly. I have golds, gold trim, gold, yeah, I'll do gold right now. And that way it'll should end up looking really good because of it. Gold trim, really bring out the edges and the details. Yeah, let's do that. So for the gold trim, I'm going to use, I'm not going to use old gold, I'm going to use rich gold. Once again, from the liquid gold range from Vallejo. This one is a little bit older of a paint that I'm using, so I have to stir it using the end of a stick, because the pigments are so dense in it. Let's make sure they're nice and distributed evenly among the medium. And I've been using rich gold consistently. I'm painting Andy's army one little piece at a time, because I'm trying to take on smaller commissions. So he's just been, every time I paint a model, I get a new one, and I keep going. That way I'm never overwhelmed. And I can paint accordingly. So I'm just going to take some isopropanol, which I got to buy more of, almost out of isopropanol, which is just rubbing alcohol, and add a little bit to my paint. So nice and thin that down. Now let's do it. This is going to be a lot of gold areas, I guess, but I'm just going to grab an extra towel. So I'm just going to paint all these little gold areas on her. She has a lot of them. Gold is one of the colors that, for the commission that I'm doing, it's one of the colors that really brings the
the models together. His armor is usually blue, so for this model, I just tried to do like a really earthy blue, watery blue, and then Cape's brown because she has stealth, so she would. Rubik enough. Yeah. It just doesn't seem like it's. I guess it's. This camera's gonna have a problem lately. I might have to get a new camera soon. It's having a problem focusing. With the manual lately. So what I have in store for this week coming up. I might go to another of the concerts. It's gonna be just a local artist. Not another big name for a while. No, Randy Bachman was the big name for the month. Let me see. I might just pull it off camera for a second while I. It's Painting with Jay anyway. You don't usually watch what I'm doing anyway, but. There we go. It's hard sometimes. Like when I do commissions and I want it to be done quickly, like not that quickly, but in an effective time manner, I usually don't film it because filming is hard. Because I don't like to paint with the model this far away from me. And when I'm doing, Painting with Jays, or my, even painting tutorials, it can get hard sometimes doing really nice fine detail work with the model so far away from you. So it'll be a good weekend. I'm just going to go. I think my in-laws might be coming this weekend for a day. We'll see. I might have some battle reports scheduled. I thought I had some scheduled, but they may. Might go to the free concert. We'll see. It'll be a good weekend. I'm just going to work on some stuff, get some more commissions done, work on some videos. Cool. But yeah, life's good. No complaints. It kind of feels nice not having to do a codex review this weekend. I know I'm not having to do it next weekend either. I'm not going to do a Age of Sigmar review because I'm not a fantasy player, and so if I did the review, it would probably come off as not genuine because I don't really know fantasy. I played fantasy a handful of times. I played it a few times. I'm not completely a noob to it, but I'm not a skilled fantasy player. That's more like the Cooler or Owen, whatever, that's his kind of thing. So I'll let him do a review. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be playing it, personally. So the gold's done there. Keep going with the gold. There's going to be a lot of gold areas in this model. That's cool. I'm done my 2 librarians. And so the next week I'll paint the other one up. So my goal is by next week's video to have that other one painted up. So that way I can do battle reports. Because you need 3 librarians in the Librarian Enclave or whatever it's called. So that to take the cool amount of psychic powers and get some bonuses. It's cool stuff. They cast powers, they can cast from 1 psyker. The thing is, whenever using liquid golds from Vallejo, clean off your brush frequently because it builds up very quickly on your brush. So you gotta frequently clean it off because otherwise it goes on really clumpy. Right now I'm just doing all the edging. I'm switched to hand because of this detail. I really want the precise to be able to hold the model versus that. The stand. But it's been good since, like, this is like episode like almost 40. I think we're in the 30s. Maybe this could be episode 40 for Painting with Jay. I don't remember the numbers, but it's been cool. Like the amount of work I've gotten done, it's crazy. I'm hoping that you people out there in internet land have gotten as much done as I have. Because if you saw my workshop and the amount of models I had in it when I started this versus now, there's such a huge difference. Huge difference. And especially now that I'm going to finish my Space Marine Army. Now, obviously, this week I have a bunch more Space Marines to paint. I still have a chaplain, a captain, another 3 tactical squads. I can basically do 2 demi companies with very minimal proxying. What else? Gen Con's finally coming up. It's at the end of the month. We're in July. Like, it's really crazy how fast these days just fly by. Yeah, it's really crazy. We're in July already, so at the end of the month I'll be in Indianapolis. That'll be cool. I'm excited for that. It's going to be cool to see the WGC people again. I haven't seen them since Adepticon. You know, see Chung. Hopefully Justin Tan comes this year. Hopefully I can see Justin Tan. I didn't get to see him at Adepticon this year, so I'm hoping he comes to Gen Con, because these vlogs without Justin Tan just don't make any sense, because he has to be in them. That's the rule. She's looking pretty good. Yeah. You know, this is only after a few hours of work on her, but she's turned out pretty nicely. I said that's one of the fun benefits of painting commission work, is that you get to paint models usually outside of your comfort zones. And then, yeah, you get to have fun. Cool. So she's coming along. Not much information this week's Painting with Jay, I found. Maybe a little more rambling. But it was good. Good week, as I said. Just not much. These weeks go by so fast. I know they say this every week, but they really do. And then I find myself doing another Painting with Jay, and it's like, oh my gosh, another week's gone by. Some people have been buying t-shirts lately. That's cool. I'm hoping to run into people in it'd be really cool to me to like meet people in Indianapolis that have my shirts. It'd be kind of cool. I'm excited for Gen Con. Gen Con's a different feeling, a really different beast than than Adepticon. Because Adepticon is such a small, close-knit community of wargamers versus Gen Con, which is gigantic community of gamers, not wargamers. Wargaming has such a small presence there. You know? So it's going to be a different beast, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'll see my friends there, hang out with the WGC people, meet some fans. I know I'm going to at least meet a couple viewers that really want to meet me. They contact me and I'll make sure I get to see them, and that'll be cool. I'll definitely vlog it. She's not staying to her base. I'm going to stop here. Yeah, I should stop here. This will need to dry for a bit. And, what else can I do right now? Some quick metallics, maybe? Silver? There's only going to be a little bit silver on her. Cool. This is the only part of her that's actually going to end up being silver, I think. It's the bottom of her. Ooh, that was a little too much, but it's okay. I'll fix that. There we go. I'm just going to have to hold her on a little bit because she keeps coming off. They're pretty heavy, these metal models. Good. Let that dry for a second. We'll hit it with a shade. Yeah. Good stuff. So I'll end here because I'm going to have to just apply a shade and then I'm going to take a break from painting her. But she's looking good. She's almost done. Another model almost done for commission, and I got my 2 librarians done, so they'll be on the table soon. Life is good. So let's end now. So that concludes another Painting with Jay. I really hope you enjoyed it, got some work done. I got my librarians done. I got a good amount of work done on Anna. So life's good here. You know, 3 models are almost done because of it. It's a worthy amount of work for an hour of Painting with Jay. I hope you got just as much done with you and you're happy with the results. So thank you very much as always for painting along with me and subscribing to my channel and supporting my videos. It really does mean a lot. You people are awesome, and you're my painting buddies, so I really hope you enjoyed it. So stay tuned for next week's Painting with Jay. And yeah, till next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting with Jay.